Hey everybody, welcome to Talks Tamiya. How you doing? Thanks for joining us again for another podcast. I'm joined, as always, by Phil, Poorboys RC. How you doing, Phil?
Hello, everybody. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on again. Thanks, man.
You're welcome. Thanks for joining me. And also, we've got a super special guest today. We are joined by none other than Bryan from Bryan RC.
Cheers, guys. Thanks for having me on. I'm so happy to be here with two of my favourite RC channels, Craig and Phil. Nice one, guys.
I wondered who you were going to say there, Mark. I was apprehensive.
What was I going to say, Craig? I was going to say Tom Lee.
Tom Lee, yeah.
Not Kevin Talbot. We won't even go there.
So we have got a full agenda today, and there's lots to talk about. We always kick off, Mark. We're talking about new Tamiya releases, okay? And unfortunately, there's not a great deal to talk about. Now, part of that is because Tamiya are doing a Japan model show in about a week and a half's time, and I think they're saving all the good news up for that. But they did announce there were some new products coming on that list, and they've got, from an RC perspective, the Mercedes GT3 Evo on a TT02 chassis.
Not a TT02 again, Craig.
Yes, Mark, a TT02. Have you got one of those?
One or two. Yeah.
What's a TT02?
I think we all have. Because it feels a speed challenge mainly, I think.
Yeah, I was going to say someone did a speed challenge on that.
Yeah.
I drive it in a straight line.
Yeah, I couldn't.
So we have that. We got the Grasshopper Black Edition, Phil. That came out slightly too late for the speedrun challenge. But that's a good looking RC. I like the look of that one.
Hasn't that been out before though? I'm sure they've done a Black Edition Grasshopper before.
They did, yeah. They did a few years ago. Yeah. I remember it came out. Yeah. But now it's
so that's old news.
It looks good too.
Yeah, it does look good, but that's old news. That's an old car.
Well, yeah, they got that. They got the Hornet with the cow spots on it and the pink wheels. You know. But do you know the one? The variant of the Hopper that I really liked was the candy green Grasshopper.
Yeah. Beautiful.
That paint. I mean, no, Phil. We shouldn't even talk about Tamiya paints. That is unfair. We should not even mention that.
It's actually very unfair because we should actually talk about this in the podcast when we get a second, because I've been trying to get some colors for the Mazda 787B, and that's a whole story in itself. I'll have to share maybe later on. I don't want to cut off your intro.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll come back to that. We'll add that to any other business at the end. How about that?
Perfect. I like it.
So we've got the Black Edition Grasshopper. We've got the Mercedes-Benz tipper truck in a candy green, apparently. So that's one of those big truck things. And then the other thing that was on the list was a carbon damper stay set for the DT04 and those freewheel axles that are used at the front to put any wheels you want on the front of the DT04. And that's it. There's nothing else on the Tamiya list. That's the
Come on, Tamiya. Come on. What's going? That can't be right, can it? They must have more than that in the wings, surely, for a big show.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was disappointing. I was hoping there would be things on there we've not seen before, but they haven't even mentioned the DB01SR on that list, and that's been announced. That's coming, and that wasn't on that list. So the price for that has been announced here in the UK. I don't know if it's been announced in Canada yet, Phil, but the price point was announced today or yesterday for that SR version. £299 is coming in the UK, which is kind of the midpoint for me. I actually thought it would be more than that. I thought it'd be about £350. Have you had a price for that in Canada yet, Phil?
Not that I know of, and in my opinion, I had a feeling it was going to come in a bit higher. £299 pound sterling is, what is that, about 500 Canadian? And I don't know. To me, that's steep, boys. That's steep. It doesn't come with a body, no motor, no ESC. I'm assuming no motor, no ESC.
No.
Yeah. No. I don't know. Does that seem crazy? I bought a DB01 off of eBay for, I think, like $200 Canadian with shipping. You know, I think, in my opinion, that's a high price. But
it's a good chassis, and it Phil, but that is a lot of money. Yeah.
I think so. It's a great chassis. I mean, I think it's a wonderful chassis. And I love the way the car drives. I haven't driven with larger tires. Do you know, are they changing the gear ratio in the SR for the larger tires that it comes with?
I
I
haven't
don't think
got a
so.
clue.
I don't think so.
No.
It's kind of interesting they chose to put the larger tires on there, hey, as opposed to like a standard buggy size tire. Or am I missing something?
No, you're right. They got bigger wheels, haven't they, than the standard Tamiya fare.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of money. I mean, that is almost in the UK. It's almost the same price as the BBX,
I knew you were going to say that. Good comparison. Yeah.
and it is marginally cheaper than the TT02 BR that they did
BR,
the other
which is
year.
fully loaded, isn't it?
It
The BR.
is. It is. And someone pointed out to me that chassis has more hop ups on it than the SR DBO1 has on it.
Yeah, it does.
So that
Definitely. Yeah.
it probably is where it's probably about right, is what I'm saying in terms
Yeah.
of price. But for
Agreed.
me, a £300 RC kit, it's got to be top. Yeah, and I don't know how much, because when they released the DBO1 back in 2008, I want to say something like that. They then followed on with like loads of other variants. They had an R, an RR, and then an RRR.
Just add more R's.
It just keep adding R's. But every time they did that, they added more stuff. They added more stuff to it, and that kit got more and more expensive as it went on. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I don't know. It has to end somewhere.
yeah, maybe the 5R.
Maybe they could have like a pirate edition. The 5R be the R, the pirate edition. That'd be cool.
Oh man, that is so funny. Yeah.
Yeah, the DBO1 Pirate Edition. Very good, very good. So we've got the DBO1 coming again. That's great. I don't know if it's happening in Canada yet, Phil, but we are getting a whole load of stock clearances here in the UK. So in the last week, it seems that the model shops are just clearing base. They've got your favourite, Phil, the BT01 is down to £89 in the UK. 89 pounds. Surely it's worth a go for £89.
Yeah. Even if you don't like it, it's worth it for that much.
For that price, I mean, yeah, that's really cheap. And don't forget the 3 bags of Atraxis shims that you have to buy to make it go straight. And then, so you round that up an extra £5, but you're there.
I like the way he's using the word quid. Well done, mate.
Yeah, he's definitely
multilingual.
Very good.
Very £5, eh?
Quid, eh, mate?
So that's £89. The MBO1 is down to £89.
That's Phil's favourite, isn't it? The MBO one.
Not the mini, not, but the other variants are £89. Which again, I know they're not. I mean, there's a lot of slop in them, right, Phil? And they're not easy to work on. But £89 for a new chassis that's only been out for not even a year, really, is it? Year and a bit.
That's it, yeah. And I'd say they're actually surprisingly easy to work on. That was the one benefit. The one huge pro that I found when I reviewed both the MBO1 and the BTO1 was that everything seemed to be held down by 2 screws, and they're all the same length of screw. So you really can't screw it up. I made that cheesy joke in my video, like, because they've got the 3 different transmission configurations, and everything's just 2 screws, 2 screws, 2 screws. So it's actually very easy to work on, but the slop is just what made it really not that enjoyable for me. And I test all my vehicles out of the box as they come out of the box. I didn't shim anything, and yeah, it was not the best driving experience. I'll tell you.
I get that, Phil, but I think, like you just said, though, the concept of it is really cool, isn't it?
100%. The concept's brilliant. The engineering that went into it is fantastic.
Definitely.
And I'm surprised I haven't seen. Maybe someone's done it yet, but I haven't seen it yet. But I'm surprised I haven't seen someone do a 4-wheel drive version. Just get an extra prop shaft and hook it up to the front, because you've got a gearbox in the front and the back. And in fact, if you have it set up to front wheel drive, all you do is you turn your gearbox around. So now that you're driving your rear wheels, and if you have a front wheel drive, yeah, you turn the whole car around, I guess. So now your rear would become the front, and you move the body around 180 degrees.
Makes sense.
It's kind of a wacky thing, but yeah, so you would just need an extra prop shaft, and you could have a 4-wheel drive, which then at least with all 4 tires propelling you, you would hopefully go a little straighter than you would in any straight line wheel drive configurations.
Yeah, it's true. I've heard a lot of other people talk about how easy it would be to do that, but like you just said, I haven't seen anyone actually do it. Not on YouTube, anyway. Not
Well,
to my
for
knowledge.
£89, you could buy two of them,
Yeah, might
and
have a
you can
go.
give it a go.
Yeah, yeah,
And you've got some nice bodies that come with those kits too. That's the other thing. You've got some a really
definitely.
nice selection of bodies with those chassis.
Yeah, definitely.
So they're dirt cheap, and I didn't notice anything else other than those two variants that seem to be getting sliced. So I think there's one of two things happening: they're clearing decks ready for the next wave of cars that they haven't yet announced, or they've got new variants of those chassis coming, and they want to get rid of the old stock before the new ones turn up.
Mm. I reckon. I reckon it's something new, Craig. That's my guess, anyway. I think I'm hoping they're going to come out with something we haven't seen before. That's fingers crossed from me, anyway. It's about
Something
time.
brand
It's about
spanking new.
time. Yeah, please.
I think
we
you're
could
onto
do
something, Mark,
something new.
because they were pretty quiet at the
Yeah.
Nuremberg Toy Fair. And
Yeah.
if you remember last year at the All Japan show, that's when they introduced both the BBX and the Kong head.
Yeah.
Not Kong head, I'm sorry.
No.
The squash fan.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
Right?
true.
So those
true.
were those are two bangers. Like the BBX is like, I'm surprised you don't hear more about it. I mean, that is
Yeah.
a top-notch buggy. That is just a phenomenal buggy.
I would have one of those tomorrow if it was just a little bit cheaper. It's just a little bit out of my price range, but I really would like one. But then you've got the DTO4, which for me, I think I might actually go for one of those because it's probably a third the price, and it's in a similar vein, isn't it? I don't think
Absolutely.
it would perform as well, but it's that same kind of buggy, isn't it?
So that
Um,
came out at Nuremberg, didn't it? The DTO
yeah,
4 was there. That's when they launched
yeah,
that one.
yeah.
So I do think you're right, Mark. They it's always nice to see a new chassis from Tamiya, and these
Mm,
shows are where they tend to drop something. And Phil, I've completely
yeah.
forgotten about the squash fan and the BBX, and you're right, both of those were dropped at the Tokyo show. So, hey, look, let's keep our fingers crossed. I'm sure something's coming from that Japan Model Hobby Show, and by the time we see each other again, we'll know what they dropped.
Yeah, come on, Tamiya.
Come on, Tamiya.
Give us something new.
Take my
So
money.
Yeah, take my money. Yeah.
we've got plenty more RC news coming later, but before we get to that, it's that time in the show where we talk about a hero Tamiya car. And Phil, I'm going to disappoint you. I said last month, that I was going to go double, and I did. And I'm not going to give you a chance, Phil. Our
Oh,
guest Mark
That's
picked
it. I'm leaving. I'm
sorry.
done. I'm done with this
Sorry.
podcast. I'm over it. Goodbye.
see you, mate. Bye bye.
The reason I did that is because I think Mark's picked an absolute banger. So, Mark, would you like to introduce your hero Tamiya car, please?
Now, Craig asked me on a quick chat we had the other day. He said, "Do you want to do the podcast and do you want to pick the car?" And how fast did I come back to you, Craig?
It was instant. You didn't even think
Is
about
it a
it.
strat? I was just like, you know what? I don't even have to think twice. You think of a Tamiya that's out there that's just kind of like crazy, memorable, and like has tons of performance and charm. It's the Konghead. What do you reckon, guys?
Beautiful choice, Mark. Beautiful choice. Love the Kong head. Love
Thanks,
the
mate.
Kong head. Kong head does not get enough love in this world.
I've never driven one. I've seen them. I've seen yours, Mark. I've seen Phil's, but I've never driven one. So why don't you two tell us all about the Konghead?
Do you want to start, Phil?
Sure. I mean,
what's your experience?
I love it. My wife bought me a Kong head. Well, I mean, the year they came out as a Christmas gift. I think I bought her a
Even
boomerang the
better.
same year. So we've got some fond memories of Christmas Day, the two of us assembling RC cars together. That was fun. And so it's a very unique chassis because the chassis is essentially a giant gearbox, and it's 6-wheel drive with
Yeah.
2-wheel steering,
Yeah.
optional 4-wheel steering, which I didn't bother with the 4-wheel because it actually
mate.
had more than enough steering, I found, with 2-wheel. But as a Tamiya, it comes with bushings and friction shocks. And the one thing I noticed about it was that even with the factory friction shocks, the suspension worked very well. And when you jumped it, it landed nice. It almost jumped as though it had oil-filled shocks in it,
Yeah.
but it doesn't.
When
And
you
I
say
really
that,
can't explain how that worked.
when you say that, Phil, I think the difference is a lot of Tamiya, what they call friction shocks, have got no friction whatsoever. I nearly swore there, but the TTO2 ones, it says friction, but there is no friction. There's nothing. But in the Konghead shocks, it's an actual tube, isn't it? A rubber tube that does provide some friction. So I think that could be the difference.
It could be.
Do you
Yeah,
think? Do you think?
it could be. It's just fun, and it's just such a fun truck, and you can get into like good power slides with it, and it's just a really fun truck. I put I think a 15-turn brushed motor in mine, so I pepped it up a little bit more, and it's just a really fun, really cool looking truck. That's a real joy to drive, and it's not very expensive. So yeah, it's a winner,
Totally
man.
agree.
That's a great pick.
Totally agree. For me, I think it's one of like Tamiya's kind of. It's almost a comical car or a signature car. It's totally different to anything else out there. I mean, let's face it. How many other four-wheel drive, or sorry, six-wheel drive? What am I talking about? How many other six-wheel drive trucks are there out there in kit form?
Yeah,
There's
I mean,
virtually none.
you have to go to like the transport trucks, right?
Exactly. So this thing with these great big monster truck wheels, it's got this like crazy look to it. And like I say, I've taken mine out and driven on almost like crawler type courses where you'd expect it wouldn't go up like a one-in-one incline and so on. But it just takes everything in its stride. That's what I love about it. It's like a truck for all courses.
I seem to remember a Pete Wiley video where he had his Konghead going up like a ridiculous slope, and he was just as if it was like a crawler, and then he was just gunning it, and it was just rocketing up like
Yeah,
didn't even miss a heartbeat, just went straight up it, no messing around.
yeah, they could go over anything, those things. They're just so much fun. I think that's the main thing. It's just a crazy truck and just a massive laugh wherever you take it. It's just like puts a smile on your face. That's why I've picked it as, my favourite for today.
I think you said, Phil, they're reasonably priced. In the UK, I want to say they're about 160 quid.
Yeah,
If you can get one.
yeah,
But in typical Tamiya fashion, they have these great, brilliant RCs, and then they'll be available, and they just disappear, and you cannot get them again. So when
yeah.
we sit here going, "Oh, this one's brilliant," everyone's going to go looking for it, and they'll be not anywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, good point.
you too.
It is. I guess you could all. Did they discontinue the what's the variant of it? The Dyna Head? Is that what it was called? Remember they did
Yeah,
like
it's like
that
you got portal axles.
Portal
Yeah,
axle.
the same thing, but with portal axles. Yeah, cool looking truck.
Really cool
Yeah,
looking truck. Yeah.
yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
get the chance to drive one, but they look kind of funky and kind of
That was definitely more of a crawler. Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
And then a school bus version as well, didn't they?
yeah. Look, something like The
right.
Simpsons.
Yeah,
that's right. What do they call that one? I forget the name.
I think it was called School Bus. I think.
I need to keep
I
my
think
eye
so.
on the market, don't I? And if I see one, maybe I need to jump all over it, because I do not. I've not. You bought yours to the SummerSlam, Mark. I remember seeing it there and thinking that looked fun.
Yeah. In fact, I beat all of you guys with your other buggy.
I don't remember
Yeah. I can play you the video back, mate. No, it actually dumped on all the four-wheel drive stuff. But to be fair, I've got like a 13.5 turn brushless in it, so it's pretty quick. That's the other thing, though. The thing is, I put that brushless in it. That gearbox is indestructible. It's absolutely, like Phil said, it's basically a gearbox for a chassis. That's what it is, and it's built like a truck. Honestly, it's really good.
Needs a fair few bearings, though, doesn't it?
About 40, I think. It's quite expensive for all the bearings. Yeah.
That was such a job because I built mine with the factory bushings, and I was like, okay, I got to upgrade this to bearings now. I love this truck.
Oh no!
And that job, taking it all apart. And I drive mine on the beach all the time, so there's sand everywhere, and you can't get some sand inside. Of course, it gets inside, so I got to clean all the grease off the gears, the whole thing. Never doing that again. Never. Buy your bearings ahead of time, Phil. Do it.
Good tip there, mate.
Yeah. Expert build tip. Make sure you buy your bearings at the start, not at the
every build. Put the bearings in. It's not worth going back, is it, and taking it all
and like
apart.
90% of them they're all the same bearing. That 11 by 5 by 4. So I buy them in bulk now on Amazon or on eBay.
Yeah.
So I buy them like 100 at a time, so I'm good to go.
No, seriously, I feel that's a good tip for everyone out there. If you're in, you're regularly building kits, you just want to bulk buy all those standard size bearings because you'll save so much money. And it's a no-brainer, isn't it? Just put them in when you build, and forget about it.
I've got a question on that for you experts who have built far more kits than I have.
I'm not an expert.
Would you always put the bearings in, or like you said, Phil, running on the beach, would that not be a better use for bushings?
Good point.
Very good point. Yeah. So my DTO4, when I built that, I that was going to be a dedicated beach buggy. So that's all bushings. Anything that's going to be dedicated beach is I just keep the bushings in there. Yeah, because that's the one thing that you can clean it out. Like, and most electronics these days are waterproof in the world of RC, so it's not a big deal. Like, you get that salty sand on there or whatever, even if you hit a bit of the salt water, get home, give it a rinse right away, let it dry, a little bit of lubricant, WD-40, whatever you want to use. I use some Cow RC stuff right now. Actually, it works really, really well. And you're going to preserve your parts, but there's always going to be that little bit. And I always fear the bearings are going to end up paying the price. So
Yeah.
I'll keep the bushings in for that.
Good point. That's a good point. That's the one exception I think in it, guys, where if you're running in salts, forget the bearings. No point. They'll just rust up.
See, a good bit of RC tips and advice for our
Yeah.
listeners. It's not just us larking about and having fun. It's educational. So good choice, Mark. Thank you. Well, it's always fun. Good choice, Mark. Thank you for that. That was a fantastic choice. Phil, you can pick the next one.
All right, I'll pick the next one.
Can you tell us now or no?
No.
Oh, God, spoil it.
About it, mull over it. It's not quite as secretive as a speedrun car, but it's almost up there.
You're just going to invite Pete Wiley next time and give it to him.
That'd be funny.
Disappoint me again.
If you got Pete Wiley on the show, you probably wouldn't be able to broadcast most of it. So I know I've been a bit of a problem, but I'm trying to be good.
So we'll move on now to a discussion point, and I think this is one that I do think someone wrote in with this, and I cannot remember who did, and I apologise. If there's a listener out there that wrote in with this question, I apologise. So the question is to ask us, what do we perceive to be better value for money? A cheap RC kit or a more expensive RC kit? And I like this question because, and we talked about one, I think it's a really good example of this a minute ago, and that is the BBX with all of its lovely design and frills and everything that's with it, and then the DTO4, yeah? And there's plenty of examples where you can find yourself a super astute, which is absolutely beautiful, but is it that much better than a DTO2? Now, I'm going to open this up for you guys to tell. There are going to be all sorts of people in the comments like complaining about this segment. I am sure about it, but
yeah,
I have my view, which I will come back to at the end. But I'd like to ask you guys what your views are.
Craig, have we got 3 hours? Because this could just go on and on and on.
Don't worry, Mark. I will keep you
time.
Don't worry.
I know what my viewpoint is, but go for it, guys.
Well, you go. You've got the ball rolling. Let's hear the
You sure? That's very kind of you.
Well,
my very good friends. From my experience, I would say cheap. I'd start with cheap because, some of the basic kits put a smile on your face and that's good enough. And if, after 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, you're still going out and running that car, you can then start to upgrade it. Do you know what I mean, guys? I bet both of you have been there. So you get something and it's great fun, and after a bit you think, what else can I do to this? And you look at there's a plethora of hop-ups and mods you can do, and then that's when it gets even more interesting if you're still into it after your initial outlay of like a cheap amount of money. So you might have spent 70, 80, 90, £100, and then after RC hobby might not have been for you, but it's 6, 9 months time it still is, and then world's your oyster. You've got all those options then that you can then start enjoying with your newfound hobby.
Or you can make your own hop-ups.
Well, exactly. What I have done. You've seen some of my videos where I love making my own custom parts. So yeah. Like I say, world's your oyster. That's the best part about this hobby for me, is adapting stuff, tuning stuff, and making stuff how you want it to be. That's my take on it.
So, Mark, you're very firmly in the cheap and then upgrade as you want camp.
Yeah, I think most of my RCs, most of my Tamiyas are entry-level cheap Tamiyas that I've hopped up and modified over time, and I've kept every single one from when I started 40 years ago. I've got every single one of them still. So I've got like 50 Tamiyas now, and I've never got rid of one of them. I love every one of the bloody things, and they've got a unique history and memories for me. So as I'm getting older, yeah, it's just a beautiful thing for me. Yeah, I really mean that, guys. It's just like, yeah.
Good, Phil, I want you to go next. Okay, Poorboys RC. I think the clue might be in the name, but I'm going to let you talk
It might
about.
have a similar background, I think.
Is it cheap or is it expensive, Phil?
Detective Craig is on the case.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I mean,
Sherlock Craig.
the name does say a lot, doesn't it? No, like I can look around at some of the expensive kits and I can look at the cheaper kits. And here's the thing. If you're getting, let's just say you're getting into the hobby and you and your buddy are going to get into the hobby at the same time and you buy a DTO4 and your buddy buys an RC10. Let's say like an RC10 Riri. So, similar in terms of, styling, age, engineering designs. But one is, a spec'd out race car of the day that, the RC10 that would have cost, I think they're $600 Canadian these days. And you have to put a motor, ESC, paint your battery, steering servo,
On top
the
of the
whole nine.
600.
Yeah, they're 600 Canadian.
Wow.
Yeah. So, you're going to get into $700-800 pretty quick. You buy a DTO4, which is a new model. Let's say we can say a DTO2. That's going to be $170 Canadian with the motor and an ESC. You're going to put both cars down. You're going to race around. Both of you are going to have exactly the same amount of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
You're both going to have a great time.
Yeah.
You're not going to notice incredible handling characteristics, differences, I should say. Like, you're both just going to zip your cars around, have a good time. And I think that's where the cheaper option, I think, is a better option, in my opinion. I think it's like kind of aligned with what Mark said, where, you can buy a less expensive car, get used to driving it, start modifying it, making it go faster, making it handle better, different tires, the whole kit and caboodle, and still not even get close to what you'd pay for some of the more expensive cars out of the box. And regardless whether you have expensive or not or cheap, you're gonna have fun. Like to this day, the Midnight Pumpkin's still my favorite RC car. I've got $2,000 RC cars and I've still got $189 Midnight Pumpkins, and that's fucking pumpkin, man. Every time you put that thing down and you hit it and it wheelies and goes, meh, makes a sound and tumbles and rolls. It's the most fun you can have. It's just the best. So,
and that's one of their cheapest kits.
Yeah, and it's been around for 40 years now, almost. Yeah, about 40 years, and not quite, but almost there. And you just can't go wrong with them. So I think I'm with Mark on this one because I bought a lot of expensive ones. Because the thing is, you buy a really expensive kit too, and you don't want to damage it. And they look so nice, and they've got the high end finishes on them, like my Avante or my Agreste. Like I can't bring myself to put a scratch on either one of those cars. So I just stare at them. I don't even get to drive them really. Whereas a Pumpkin or Lunchbox, Monster Beetle, I take them out and beat the tar out of them and have a great time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think I agree with both of you, except. So I do agree with the cheaper cars. I do agree with the frills. I do agree that you can take those out. You can have absolute fun with them, and they are wonderful. And you can drive them around, and you can upgrade them, and you can repair them when they break. Which, let's be frank about it, we've all been there. Yeah, you've driven the car, you've broken something, the axle's snapped off, or the arm's broken, or the shock's popped off, and you've got to repair it. So you go and you find that the parts for those cars, firstly, are easy to get. Secondly, they're cheap. And the repair is usually pretty quick. However, my entire perception of all of that changed when I drove the Top Force Evo. And at that point, I realized that there is a place for those higher end cars that are just perfect. You put it together. Yes, but then when you drive it, you can definitely feel the difference between the Evo
Absolutely.
and a TTO2B. Yeah, and I really like the way the TTO2B drives. It's great on my track, but the Evo is something else. And you lap that thing and it just time and time and time again. And interestingly, the DB01 was very, very similar to that. It just drives really well. And then you go, wow, now I see why they're more expensive. But are they double or triple the price?
I was just going to ask something, Craig.
Go on, Mark.
Do you think you need to have achieved a level of experience with RC to be able to appreciate that difference, or do you think you'd appreciate it from the start if you were a beginner? I'm not so sure.
That's a really good question. I think if I'd have built my Top Force Evo first,
if it was the first car you'd ever driven, Craig,
it would have ruined every other build that I did after it, because they wouldn't have quite been the same as that build.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
But I also think that if I'd have built that first, I probably would have smashed it up a lot sooner.
Yeah.
And then I'd have had a very expensive repair bill that I wouldn't have been able to afford, and then it would have sat on the shelf gathering dust forever and a day while I bought a DTO2 or DTO3 and drove that instead.
Do you know? Yeah, this is a really interesting conversation, a really interesting topic, because after saying what I've said and listening to Phil say what he said, which is pretty similar, I do agree, though, when I drove my Super Astute, compared to, say, a Sand Viper, it's like I can't describe the difference, because you're not actually in the vehicle. You're not actually driving it, but it kind of feels like you are. Does that sound weird? You kind of get that kind of association with the car as it's going over the terrain, and you can am I talking rubbish?
Well, no, because that's what it's like with the Top Force for me.
And you just get this feeling of like smoothness and sleekness and controllability. So there's okay, a bit of both for me then. I've changed my mind. You convinced me, Craig. It's a bit of both, but I think you need to be able to drive a car first.
But there's another great example of this, and that is if you take the TTO2, which we talked about earlier in the show, and everybody who is into Tamiya will have built a TTO2.
Everyone knows it,
yeah. But then you go and you build a XV01, or you go and you build one of those higher end touring cars that Tamiya have done, like the TA08F or whatever it is, that they will be night and day different to that TTO2. And for me, you think of the understeer in that car, you think of the fact you can't keep it in a straight line, and then you put down an XV01 and you drive the same track that you've laid out on the tarmac with that car.
I've done it, yeah. And you have, so...
Yeah, night and day.
And
that is what you get from those more expensive ones. But the outlay and the risk and everything else that you're putting into it when you take that buggy out or that car out is so much higher.
Yeah, I agree.
Firsthand, I experienced that this year, because there's a couple of Orchard Raceway runners that, well, they're not runners anymore. They are very sad.
I know about a few crashes. Oh dear.
So what we're saying then, to summarise, we like cheap RCs.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing wrong with them, but we do appreciate those higher end models for what they are.
Yeah, I think that's what we all agree. But I think you've got that. Go on, mate.
Thanks, Mark. Yeah, I was going to say, when you find that sweet spot, the sweet spot is what I love, is that what Kyosho and the Dune Master and Dirt Master. Those are two cars that I think are that sweet spot where they're 350 Canadian dollars, so they're not breaking the bank. 329, I think. For the Dune Master, I always get the two mixed up. The Dirt Master is a two-wheel drive buggy. I think that's about 329 and about 349 for the Dune Master, which has the Beetle kind of body on it. Those two cars, I feel they handle really well. They've got race spec DNA. They've got, what is it, the Kyosho Laser? I think they're based off the Laser series of cars, or the Ultima.
Quality is like spot on, isn't it, Phil?
That's right. So you don't have the carbon fiber, you don't have all the fancy aluminum, but you do have good quality plastics, and so you're not paying a premium price point, but you've got a race spec buggy that's just kind of got some budget parts on it, and they handle great. They're tough. You can race them. I raced mine, and I mean, I could hang with the guys that are racing, the RC10 B7, whatever the heck the current top of the line spec buggy is, and I mean, I could hang. You know, I'm probably not going to beat them, but I could hang. And so there's something to be said about that. I really like that segment of the RC world.
Nice cars. Nice cars.
And they are, I suppose, in relation though to some of those other, I mean, the race buggies, they're still cheap. That's still a cheap buggy.
Yeah,
in comparison,
half price, getting it half price.
Yeah,
absolutely. Well, there you go. I think we've settled it. Buy cheap. Yeah, enjoy it. Beat the
buy cheap. Work your way up. Yeah, if you still need RV, keep going. Yeah,
there you have it. You heard it here first. Do that. So, thankfully, even though Tamiya did not furnish us with some RC news to talk of, all the other RC companies seem to be flat out at giving us lots and lots of things to talk about. And I'm gonna start off with the easy stuff before we move on to the more difficult conversations. So, Kyosho this week have announced a load of new stuff ready, and I think it's ready for the Japanese model show. But they've released a whole load of Kyosho Mini Z cars, and I've never driven one of these. I like the look of them. I think they look so incredibly detailed. They look great. But they've done a Lancia Delta Integrale, a Toyota Celica, a Mazda RX-7. They've got two variants of the RX-7, and they're like track cars. They look really, really cool. And then they've got a Porsche 962 as well, like one of the old sort of Group C cars. And I've not got any experience with Mini Z. Have either of you two driven any of those sort of cars?
No.
I've driven Mini 4-wheel drives, Mini 2-wheel drives, but not a Kyosho Mini Z. I think they're the top end when it comes to that segment of RC. I haven't driven one of those yet.
No, nor me.
So we've got nothing to offer other than they do look really, really, really good.
They are beautiful.
Delta Integrale body. Oof, that is one of my favorite rally cars of all. I've never even seen one in person before. It's like one of those forbidden fruit kind of thing. You know, you haven't seen it, so you want it that much more, you know? And I've heard they're kind of junk and they sell for big money. I told my wife I was going to buy one, like a real one, but they're like 40 grand Canadian to get shipped over here. And apparently they're not very reliable and no one wants to work on them. So it's a really...
They're not very reliable. I've actually been a passenger in one many, many years ago. And I've got to say, I was impressed. It was bloody scary how fast that thing was.
Is that right?
Yeah, it was incredible. But I know the guy that owned the car paid a lot of money for it, and he had a lot of trouble with it. So, yeah, I think the rumours are true. Keep well away from them.
Yeah,
they're loving to look at.
Scale versions.
But in real life,
just buy a really small one, Phil. You know.
Tiddly. But even the tiddly ones are stupid money. They're 240 pounds. Yeah. That's too much for me, Craig, I'm afraid. I'm sorry, mate, but that's too much.
Unless you've got somewhere to drive it, right? I mean...
or you're in a club and you're racing indoors with your friends. I can get that, but as you know, a single outlay of like nearly 250 quid for a tiny little car that I personally wouldn't really drive. I haven't got anywhere to drive it. It's an indoor car, isn't it? So not for me, but I do appreciate that, you know, for those that do like that kind of thing, then it is a beautiful little car.
If I was gonna get one, I would be buying that Lancia Delta one. That looks fantastic.
I like that Toyota as well, to be fair. I like the old Japanese cars, I really do. I've got a thing for the old like Mazdas and stuff, you know. I do like them, the old Subarus. Yeah.
Me too.
I'm a sucker for a Japanese car. As is Phil.
Sure am.
Mr. Camry.
I need a third Camry. Listen to this fun fact. I currently own two 1985 Toyotas, and they both have 134,000 kilometers on them.
That says something, doesn't it?
That's something, isn't it?
The Japanese know how to build a real car, and they know how to build a remote control car too. That's for sure.
That's right. God bless them. Next in the stable, I need an early 80s Toyota pickup, 1980 to 87. Either Marty McFly or I'm going to go full Toyota Bruiser, depending what I can get.
Do you know what? You just said that about pickup. Back in the 90s, I had a Leyland, Craig.
A Leyland, yeah.
Morris Marina pickup. The worst car in the world.
But I bet you it's worth a few bob now.
Well, I don't know, it's long gone, but it was absolutely pants, is all I could say. Japanese all the way.
all the way.
Japanese cars, mate, all the way.
From Japanese
way.
cars to Japanese bikes. Well, not Japanese bike, but well, I suppose it is.
Well,
But
actually, it is.
Kyosho have got, or they're re-releasing their Hang-On Racer. Now, I think we talked about this before, Phil. These are the bikes with the rider that moves from side to side.
So
What's
cool.
special about this one is it's the Kenny Roberts Yamaha YZR 500 from 1978.
Is it the one? Can you not put a picture up, mate? You can't do that, can you?
No,
Oh, that's a shame, isn't it?
I don't have the skills. I don't have the skills, Mark. I'm sorry. Other podcasts may have the fancy setups that allow us to do that sort of wonderful TV trickery, but unfortunately, this is a poorer version.
Oh, that's
So
a
no, I
shame.
can't. Sorry, Mark. Let's just imagine it. Let's imagine it. Why don't you describe it to us, Mark, and then we can all know exactly what it looks like.
Well, it's white and yellow with kind of black blocks down the tank. What they used to call King Kenny Roberts, who was the world championship American rider. You know what I'm going to say, don't you, Craig? We've talked about this before, but I'm an old man. I was born in 1963, and in 1978, when that motorbike won the world championship MotoGP, it wasn't called that then. It was called 500 World Championship, but it's MotoGP now. I actually saw that guy race that actual bike at Silverstone in 1978. So that brings a lot of memories for me, and the fact that they've actually altered the chassis to reflect the original bike by turning the forks back upside down like it should have been in the day. I've got to say they've done a great job on that, and I want one.
It does look good. It does look really good, doesn't it?
I don't know what's going on with the viewers, but I've got it come up on my screen now. So.
Yeah, so have I. Phil
yeah, technology. I figured it out.
Look at that.
You guys see that, right?
His face. I mean, what a brilliant job they've done with that.
Well, I would imagine you've got to paint that yourself, and with my painting skills, yeah, it is a kit. Yeah, those eyes would not be that crisp if I was doing it. I can tell you that for free.
It'd probably be cross-eyed if I was doing it. But that is one sweet kit. I think I might have to go and get one of those.
That is so cool. That is
pretty slick.
And I haven't got an RC bike, so that'd be a first as well.
You haven't got a bike, no?
An RC bike, no. I mean, look at that.
Look at
what
that.
A chassis. A chassis.
That is interesting. How do they design these things, man? Like the creativity and the engineering is just phenomenal.
Do you know what, guys? That looks like the actual chassis as well of the real bike. It's got that kind of monocoque chassis with the frames down the top. That is so scale. It's unbelievable. Hats off to them. Hats off to them. That is cool. I'm blown away by that.
I watched their promotional video for it, and
we're back.
And after just seeing how the rider leans into the turn,
oh
my gosh, that is so cool. You can have so much fun making a running video with that, with a chase car, a bunch of GoPros with different angles. You could have a ton of fun.
How does the rider move though? Is that another servo that's doing that?
Gotta be a servo.
I think there's a servo on the seat, Craig. If when I looked at it, I think the seat moves and it moves the rider from side to side. I'm not sure.
Changes the weight on the bike.
I think so. Yeah. Very clever.
Well, Mark, when you get it and you build it and you do one of your fantastic videos, we'll all know exactly how it works.
Yeah, I'll get it and build it, then I have to get Phil to come over from Canada, all the way over to England, so he can film me, because I need a decent poutine, yeah, and also, and I could do the decent cameraman, you know what I mean? Because that Rob Brennan is getting on my nerves now, you know. Sorry, Rob.
Tired.
You know what? He might be making a comeback.
Oh, very good.
Keep your eyes open.
Come back, Rob. We miss you.
Breaking news.
Oh, yeah, we might hear a little bit later when Craig asks us about what's going on in the channels. But yeah, if we haven't, everyone's gone to sleep by now. I don't know.
No, not at all. I hope not. Some people listen to this when they're driving, so I hope they don't fall asleep.
Oh my gosh, no! Stay awake, guys. Health and safety warning. Stay awake.
Kyosho, Mark, have not finished yet. they have a Toyota Tundra Drift Phaser, which I'm not really into, and then they've got a hybrid Phantom Plasma all-wheel drive pan car thing. So they've gone all out. They have really gone and said, we're putting out some decent stuff back into the market. We're celebrating 30 years of being in Europe. We're celebrating the Japanese show.
Yeah.
And they've given us some stuff, which is great.
Yeah.
Well done, Kyosho.
Yeah, fair play.
Guess who else has got some new models for us to talk about, Phil?
Who else?
Who else?
Well, who do we always talk about in this segment? Every single time.
Not me. I don't know.
Let me think of a company that's releasing a car at least once a month right now. Who could that be?
Or a truck. Or a crawler, or I saw someone posted up on the Facebook page, Phil, where it was an RC10 digger. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was my buddy Matt that did that. He just kind of like used some AI, I guess, and came up with that little concoction. I made a joke. I said I thought it was gonna be like an RC10 shopping cart was gonna be coming out next. I mean, it'd be pretty cool, right?
Audi on it.
Yeah, like angry Karen shopping cart driver with like the 2008 Karen swoop hair.
So they've got two models. The first is the RC10 Rally Porsche. It didn't say Porsche. I'm sure
we can't say Porsche. You can't say Porsche. You don't want to get sued. So
okay. Can you say Porsche?
Rally car.
Just say Porsche, because otherwise the purists get really pissed off, annoyed. Porsche.
It does look like a Porsche, doesn't it? Yeah,
it does look like a Porsche. And you know what? I'm gonna say it. I like it. I'm putting it out there. I don't care. Judge me all you want. I like it. I don't know. I want to see what the price point is. I'm probably already know what it is. I bet you it's going to be $550 Canadian. I don't see them being that popular. I can see them being discounted in a little bit. Like a lot of the J Halsey and the green broccoli RC10 and some of the other ones are, they're sitting on shelves right now, and they're starting to come out discounted, pretty significantly, $80 kind of thing, $80 to $100. So I might wait for that. But I actually kind of like it. It looked like it performed well. I actually really do like the RC10 white plastics. A lot of guys don't like those. I do like them. And the gold shocks I think look cool. The body, I think it's just screaming for Tamiya Porsche 959 livery on it. Rob Mitchell from Need a Bigger Shed has already said, hey, I'm going to make some bigger light buckets for this thing, and I want to make it work. So there's a lot of potential sitting there. Mark is not happy with me right now, but hey, that's how I feel, and I'm sticking to it. If looks could kill.
If they put that into the market, right, before Tamiya have come back with their 959, and you got to give it to them. They've taken something and they've done something different. I am not a fan of a lot of things that Team Associated have put out in the last 2 years or so. But
orange and white rubbish. Orange and white, for God's sake.
You don't like it, Mark?
It's just the same old thing regurgitated. What the hell's going on?
I mean, one of the things I would say about that model, is somebody put I don't know, they have like a rally chassis, don't they?
Yeah.
And they put it alongside it, and other than the pan, it's basically all the parts off that
Apex
rally
chassis. Apex 2 chassis, yeah.
But do you know what? People love it, and people will buy that stuff. And I don't have an Apex 2 chassis, and I've heard that's
specifically
good. So I'm going to get one. That'll probably be the one I'd look at. Excuse
me for a second. I will just say, I'm not really keen on the stuff they did whatsoever, over and over and over. But when I first saw that car, I did think, actually, it's a sleek looking body. It's a nice looking rally car, and I think I did watch a bit of footage. It actually drives really well too, doesn't it, Phil? It looks like it goes really well.
That's kind of what started selling me on it. At first, I thought it was really goofy, and then I watched the running footage. I'm like, that thing actually looks like it's working pretty good.
It did look like it handles well, but it's just
I could see that being fun.
The whole thing, I'm not that keen on. I think there's a lot more Tamiya Porsches that they've already got in their lineup. if you look at some of their road cars, some of the belt drive stuff, the four-wheel drive stuff, already they've got is so much better than that, in my opinion. Let's just hope Tamiya come up with another off-road proper rally car version, because most of
we
the
will
road
see.
versions.
We will. I mean, what a time to put it out. If Tamiya came
Yeah.
to the Japanese model fair and like, here's the 959, it would be a bit of a mic drop moment, wouldn't it?
But at the end of the day, it's another RC car, and I know I pulled my face a bit. I've just been a bit silly, but you know, it's all good. It all adds to the fun. You know, if that's your thing, then you know, fill yourself up with it.
So there's one more thing that came from Team Associated though, and that was the RC10 Nitro.
Didn't see that, Craig.
Did you see that, Phil?
I sure did. I watched a promotional video. Yeah, you know, I think it's quite expensive. Does not come with a motor, nitro engine.
Does it not?
It does not.
Well, it's called a nitro. Surely it comes with a nitro motor, Phil.
It does not come with a nitro motor. At least, you know, the specs that I was looking at, I was looking on A-Main. I think I was right on Team Associated's website, and they were saying they recommend their motor, whatever motor it was. I'm not a nitro specialist. I don't know. But it was like a 0.12 or 0.15 or something like that, little small block. And they said that's what we recommend. But you can put in whatever motor you wish. And I think that's great for flexibility. But the whole thing that stinks in my opinion, I think in a lot of people's opinion about Associated and their sort of guerrilla warfare, their blitzkrieg of re-re's, is that it's like it's too much too soon and it seems greedy. I've heard a lot of people say that, and I would agree with it. It does it's a little stinky. It smells a little greedy. And I'm all for making money when you can make money. You know, make hay while the sun shines. It's a business. Re-re's are hot. Strike while the iron's hot. I get it. But like at the same time, it's so much so fast that it's putting a lot of people off. A lot of people off. Like in my videos, you know, I get a lot of comments like, screw AE. They're just gouging us, you know, and I read it in other people's comments, Adam's comments. So they're kind of, I think they're satisfying the hardcore guys. In the middle guys like me are like, take it or leave it. And then there's other guys I think that are in the middle that are like in the middle and on the maybe on the fence with, do they love AE or not? And they're saying like, F you, we're not into this. You're just trying to steal every cent you can from us.
I was going to say, do you mean hardcore guys or the rich guys? Because if you were going to buy every one of the releases they put out in the last 12 months, you've got to have a mortgage.
It is a lot of money.
Do you know what I mean? You know? And they say, buy our new nitro car, but by the way, you've got to buy a nitro engine as well. Doesn't come with it. That's a bit rich.
It's a bit rich. I just bought a Masami, and that's almost $600 Canadian for a Masami kit. You know, and I said I wasn't going to, then I said I was. Anyway, long story short, I did. And a Kinwald, and I'm not going to lie, I still want to get a Kinwald because, you know, I grew up watching those guys, man. Like, you know, I was this poor kid in Ontario that I there's no dream of me ever hitting a track like that or even driving a car that nice. So I lived vicariously through these guys. I had a paper route. I got my RC Car Action magazine subscription, and I watched these guys race. I grew up watching them, and they're kind of like, I wasn't into sports, you know, I was into snowboarding and smoking pot and drinking beer. You know what I mean? So like in RC cars. So, you know, these are the guys, these are my athletes. These are the guys I watched growing up.
And I think it's really great. And I do think it's really great that they've taken the time to put these models out that people can pick up and they can enjoy. And that is fantastic, right? But I do think you're right. They have saturated the market. They put far too many out. You know, you can pick up some of those special editions that they did right at the start. I go back to, remember they did that clear one where it was all like perspex.
Yep.
You could see through all the parts, all translucent. Yep. You can pick those up now almost 50% off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brand new.
Right there. And yeah, I paid full pop for it. Yeah, now they're half price.
But that's the bit and that leads to sour taste because you're like, oh man, really? If I'd have just waited for 18 months, I could have got that for half the price I paid for it. And it's not fair. It's not right. But I also, you know, and this is the other flip side to it as well. Sometimes you don't want to meet the legend. You don't want to meet the myth, okay? Because I go back to the Schumacher Cougar that I got. Yeah.
I remember.
That thing was a nightmare. Yeah. And then I hear all these people who are building their RC10s and you had it, Phil. that four-wheel drive one where it's all different metrics, and you've got imperial and you've got metric. It's just all
Nonsense.
wrong, and then there's all bits that are missing, and so there's a bit of it. Me, it goes. Actually, maybe these guys should have left the legacy back there and just done something different. Just do something completely different. But they're still there, and this time next week there might be another one, and we could talk about another one.
Yeah, they probably
Now,
will.
there's no nitro engine in the nitro. If you're buying a nitro one, just be aware of that.
Good voice.
If they do come out with an RC10 livery shopping cart, I want some sort of credit for that. I said it first. I called it first. I'm going to say they stole my idea or something like that. And if it happens, it damn well better come with a nitro engine too.
Yeah, April 2026, we'll have an RC10 shopping cart. Yeah, we'll talk about it then.
I'm taking mine around Sainsbury's, mate. Yes, my shopping cart, definitely. Orange and white shopping cart.
So we're almost at the end. All that's left now for me to do is ask you, lovely YouTubers, what is going on your channels in the next 4 weeks. So who would like to go first? Mark, why don't you go first? What's happening over at Mark Bryan RC?
Very kind of you. I've not got a lot going on. Got a few family issues going on at the minute. Probably going to go on and on and on. Don't want to go on about that. But other than that, I've had that lovely bulldog, SCA1E Charisma Kiss. So I've got an unboxing of that coming for a detail unboxing, which I did with my friend Rob. We had a good laugh with that today, and also I've done an unboxing with him of his new Tamiya that you can see on his channel. So go and have a look at Rob Bryan RC. And we've been working on a few other little things. There's a lovely chap in the hobby called Alan Taylor. I don't know if you've heard us speaking about him before, but he's just a hobbyist, and he got in touch with us. He got a load of old cars that he didn't want to use anymore, and he said, do you want to make use of them? So, I mean, how nice is that? That's what this
amazing.
Hobby is so good, so he posted down boxes and boxes of parts for us and bits of cars and whatever. So we've got a lot of that to come out as well, hopefully showing what we've done with those parts. So yeah, that's what's coming in the next couple of weeks.
And hopefully Rob's driving is going to improve from that last video where he was rolling that 1/8 scale rally car and doing barrel rolls in it.
No, Rob's driving is not going to improve. Deadpan.
That's amazing.
What is coming on at Poorboys RC? You've always got an absolute boatload of stuff.
Too much, but I made it through. Yeah, I ended up inundated by the end of the summer with reviews, which is a good problem to have. But then, you kind of want to live life a little bit too. And, there's still some health concerns that I have that kind of slow me down sometimes. So anyway, I got a little bit inundated, but I'm almost done with all of that stuff. I got a few more to finish up. And then I think it's time to focus back on like the bread and butter of what Poorboys was when it started, was some more Tamiya builds. I love doing stuff like this, little right here, this fella, my little Honda City Turbo. Look, it's finally done. It turned out so great. Look at the paint on the driver. I didn't do that. That's gonna be my Saturday video, guys. That's a raffle car.
That is awesome.
It is. I was never really a fan of the Honda City Turbo, and now that I've built that, I'm like, why am I raffling that one off? Like, I love that car now so much. Like,
I can see you winning it.
You can see my Willie. And check this out. So,
Willying is not your Willie.
Mark, Mark, I just assumed the worst. I always assume that with you for some reason.
That is so funny.
But I've got like that GT Power sound unit in here, Craig. You know the one I'm talking about. They also sent me some headlights. So I've got these like super bright lights in this thing. And anyway, I want to get back to that because that felt good. Just kind of getting my hands back in a Tamiya kit and doing some fun stuff with it. That really excites me. So I've got my Mazda 787B that I've got to build, and we'll get some running footage of that. I've also got my Masami RC10 that I was telling you guys about earlier. And then I think, just want to focus on some more builds and some more kind of fun Tamiya stuff, Kyosho, maybe some more old school stuff.
Back to basics.
We mentioned earlier in the show about paints, and you said about the Mazda. So what's going on with the paints?
Yes, thank you for reminding me. Funny story. So I won't name names because people don't always like that, but a wonderful viewer supporter of the channel who actually sent me this Wild Willie driver from the UK as a gift to add to this. So that's part of Saturday's video as well. He sent me that, but before he sent me that, he sent me paints. Knowing that in Canada I can't get Tamiya paints, he sent me the paints for my Mazda 787B, and really nice guy. Didn't ask for any money, you know, just said, hey man, love the channel, I want to support you, I'm going to send you the right paint that you need. So you know, I'm like, I don't know if it'll work, but he's like, whatever.
Did you get paint through the post?
Well, we tried.
Wow, that's amazing.
So he sent it the first time. He sent it via air, and they shipped it back saying, no, sorry, dangerous goods, won't ship it via air. So, you know, 3 weeks later, he's like, sorry, mate, you know, not going to fly, but he's like, I can try ground. So he shipped it a second time via ground on the slow boat. Wow. And it made it overseas, but when it hit customs in North America, possibly Canada, they detected what it was, and they said, you're not getting it back this time, and they destroyed it all. Man. That's what they said. That's what they said. The guy that opened it's probably like, sweet, Tamiya paint, I'm gonna go take this home. But yeah. So thank you to the viewer. I'm not gonna say your name just because people don't always like that, and I didn't get your permission before this.
Oh, that is so sad.
But
so you haven't got the paint.
No, I've been looking for paint for 5 weeks, trying to find ways.
You need?
There's a fluorescent orange and green. I forget the PS numbers, but
you tell me the PS numbers. I'll put them in the comment section of this video. Yeah.
Craig's going to swim across the channel.
I'm not.
With a rucksack on his back with paints in there.
Yeah.
Long distance swimmer.
Maybe there's a friendly Canadian, viewer that's got those paints that you need in their lockup. They go, Phil, I'll send them to you. You know, so
that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that.
Got to put it out there, man. Yeah. So you send me the paints you need, Phil, and I'll put it in the comment section, and we'll see if we can get some traction. We need to get.
Come on, guys, you can do it.
Come on, guys, we can do it.
That's the one. You know what I mean? I don't mind going non-box art, but that's one where you want to go box art. Like,
definitely.
I think it's really important to go box art on that one. Yeah.
Well, let's see if we can get Phil's paints. That'd be a result.
That would be something.
So what's going on with me? I
was going to say we missed out on what's going on.
I always go last. I'm very humble. So
what a great show.
Because of Phil, I also now have a GT Power sound unit. So thank you, Phil. And there's a review coming of that because I've then put that and installed that in my lunchbox, and it is awesome. Really, really, really pleased with that. I got some other GT Power products which I'm going to be testing and putting up on the channel, and I'm doing my Raider project that I've started. So I took an old Raider chassis, which I didn't end up using the old chassis. I ended up doing a whole new build, and I've got this FPR mark. Is that it's not the carbon fiber? It's
FRP.
FRP, thank you. I've got the FRP plate. The front bulkhead goes on. The rear bulkhead goes on. It's got the gearbox from the Raider in there, and then it's all just uprights are all different as well. You can use the Kyosho big ball shocks on it as well. This thing is awesome.
It's sweet.
But when I've seen it together, I snapped one of the rear arms. And I don't have a
Craig.
Some late nights on eBay, and I finally got the arm. I found it, but where I snapped the arm, I was trying to take the rear hub off it, and that is because of like how many years this thing's been on this arm. It's just fused together. There's getting it out. Then I had to find some hubs at the back, and they're on their way. So I've hit the sort of the brakes a little bit, and thought I'm going to get all this stuff, but I thought I had everything. And those two bits I didn't have. You know. Retro restores, what are you doing?
You know what's funny is that like earlier we're talking about expensive versus cheap cars. Where all these cheap cars that Craig's trying to keep alive, he could have bought like a brand new Maserati.
Cost him a fortune, yeah.
All of his 80s cars from 2025 summer.
Oh man,
this Raider is going to be really expensive. And then I'm going to take it out of the Orchard Raceway and smash it up into the grass roller or something like that again.
You better not.
No, I've got to look after this one. This one's too good. So that's coming soon. And then Also, in 2 weeks' time, the return of the Orchard Raceway Series.
Yay!
I'm excited for that.
It's been long enough.
I know. Well, I just held it all up. I've got all the footage together, and I've done the first edit. I've got 2 more to do, and then you'll see, who came out fastest this year on the Orchard Raceway.
Have we got like 2-wheel drive versus 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive and rally cars? Have we got?
Well, I've got rally cars coming at another point. Yeah, but what I've done is I've split it into just 4-wheel drive, 2-wheel drive, straight shootout. Who goes fastest wins. Yeah.
Can't wait, mate. That sounds cool.
So we're back on it.
Look forward to that.
We've done over an hour, which I think is really impressive. Yeah, there was me saying to you, Mark, it might be 45 minutes. Who knows? We did a whole hour.
Flies by every time.
Yeah.
Last thing I want to say to our viewers is, if you've got anything you want to know, if you want to ask us any questions, if you've been dying to know something about the hobby or something about our channels, please get in touch. There's email addresses. I'll put them all in the show notes. Please get in contact with us and let us know what you'd like to hear us talking about in future podcasts. Mark, thank you very much for joining us. I hope.
Well, thank you very much for
I know it's late.
me on.
It's way past your bedtime.
It is, but honestly, I've really enjoyed it. And like I say, it's great hanging out with 2 of my best RC buddies.
Oh, cheers, pal.
Anytime, mate, I'll be happy to join you.
Good man.
Really enjoyed it.
And Phil, thank you very much for joining us again, all the way over from Canada. It's not late at night for you; it's sort of mid-afternoon, isn't it? So you're going to go and build some Mazdas or play with some Toyotas or something like that. Yeah?
I'm going to crack an IPA.
Subscribe to his channel; he's really good. Go on.
Oh yeah, do that too. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, and Craig. He's not too bad. He's not too bad, honestly.
Yeah, and Mark. And
Mark, where's the button? Hit the button.
Brilliant, guys. Thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you both soon on Talks Tamiya. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Thanks, dude.
Bye now.
Adios.